Welcome back to Melodic Memories of Light's Monarch. I'm Casey, and I am currently moving. I'm not moving quite yet, mind you, but I am in the process of moving, packing up all my stuff. So, I just kind of wanted to say that this will be a little bit shorter of an episode. I will be staying consistent with releases as I will be moving the last 2 weeks of the month. Just wanted to pre-record some stuff and let you guys know that that is the case, because I won't really be touching on recent releases because there won't be anything out. Just kind of recording everything all in bulk right now, just a couple episodes to keep consistent, as I said. They will be a little bit shorter than normal, but all the same, I just have to do that until I'm settled and set up once again in the new place. Man, I hate moving. It is one of my least favorite things ever, and I really wish I didn't have to, but such is life, and the ultimate goal is to move somewhere bigger, hopefully Edmonton with Logan, my buddy. Alex is welcome to come along, so is Ryan, anyone else really of my friends if they want to make the venture to Edmonton, because that would be a hell of a time, that'd be a lot of fun. Not going to say much more than that, though, because it is just one step at a time. It's been a busy, busy time, as this week has been very long and very just kind of upsetting, all in all, not gonna lie. And I think the first thing that really set off this week to just be kind of shit is the Oilers. The NHL Stanley Cup final. The Oilers, they didn't do too well. They kind of lost. And I mean, it's not news now. It happened about a week ago at this point, but I guess actually as everyone's listening to this, it's been exactly a week. And as an Oilers fan, I gotta say, very disappointing. And I can't even imagine how the actual players themselves feel. Like, I'm glad I wasn't in Edmonton when it happened. I know they played in Florida and lost in Florida. That's where the Florida Panthers won the cup, fucking Florida. But, it is what it is. And I'm glad that I wasn't in Edmonton because I don't know the exact air that would be around there in terms of, like, you would probably walk around and feel the sadness, feel the disappointment, because I know I sure felt it, and I'm just a fan. I love the team, and I wanted them to win, especially being that this was their second consecutive year making it to this Stanley Cup final, and they just couldn't pull it off. And I mean, I know they tried their ass off. The team in general tried really hard, but as they all have said in plenty interviews, Florida just had what it took to pull off this amazing feat for their franchise. And to take a step back from being an Oilers fan and just talk generally on the hockey side of it, as a hockey fan, it's amazing what they've done. I have to admit, the Florida Panthers, for them not ever winning a Stanley Cup in their history, to then go 3 years in a row making the Stanley Cup final, winning 2 of the past 3, and both against Edmonton. That is the part that sucks about it, is that both were against Edmonton. And not even that, I'm happy that the team, the players, they tried their ass off. The better team won in the end. That I can't deny, and I'm happy for hockey in terms of what it means. But, man, as an Oilers fan, I am very disappointed and very sad. Just upset, defeated. Like last year, I remember standing, or not even standing, I was kneeling. I fell to my knees and cried. And I know some might say it's just a game, but it's so much more than that when you put so much of yourself into the team, watch the game after game after game, and you're there. It's like you're a part of the team. I know you're not, and you never will be in terms of that if you're just watching it on TV, but in the way it feels like you matter and you're a part of the team, whether that's the case or not. And as a fan, I'm sad. I'm glad that the team wants to come back and win next year, just as they had last year. But the biggest thing that is up in the air right now is McDavid. He's the star player, and he himself has some doubt. He said that he will, of course, re-sign an extension as he is currently making his way to his contract being up to where he could go to any team he wants. And he said he would sign an extension in a heartbeat if there's a chance to win consecutive wins, and that's what he wants to do. He wants to be a legend and win the Stanley Cup time after time after time. And honestly, I feel like the Oilers could do it. But this Florida team, holy hell. Not only are they really just solid at playing hockey, but they are some of the most disrespectful human beings that I think hockey has ever seen. And I don't even mean that to like shit on the team that beat my team. No bad blood on that end. The better team again, they won, but just to say like the chants that are going around on these Stanley Cup parades and the different parties that they've been hosting, the Florida Panthers, mind you, they've just been absolute shit to Edmonton, the fans, and especially Connor McDavid. As I was just saying, he is the one that's up in the air to re-sign with them, unless if he sees the team winning consistently. And the Florida Panthers have been making their fans, I mean, making might be a wrong word to use, but just like encouraging their fans and themselves to chant fuck McDavid. And I don't know why. I seen a clip of it and that's all I've seen. I've tried to stay away because it's just a little raw still, but just upsetting and unfortunate. And I'm sorry to spend so much time on it, but truly, I thought there was class. I thought there was sportsmanship that was supposed to be had. And if this is openly accepted and encouraged, why the hell is it? Like, why did they win the Stanley Cup just to be assholes? Like, they should have some pride and be like, yeah, they won, but win with respect and integrity. Like, come on. Maybe I'm preaching to the wrong crowd because they are Florida. And I know the stereotype of Americans, but the thing is, there's Canadians on that team, so I really don't know. Brad Marchand is one of the ones that literally is doing it too, and he's Canadian. He's going to be playing on Team Canada with McDavid in the Olympics next year. How that's going to go, fuck, I don't even know. Because honestly, it's just really upsetting, all in all, the whole thing. As an Oilers fan, as a fan of the sport and the sportsmanship that's supposed to be like alongside hockey. I know you fight on the ice, but when you're off the ice, you're supposed to be civil and play for the love of the game. It just doesn't feel right. And I don't like how they're being extremely ignorant. And I hope they turn a new leaf. I know that is not going to happen though, and I just hope that Edmonton comes back next year with McDavid signed to an extension with actual promise to win, because I know they can, and that's not just my bias, that's straight up facts. I know they can. Anyways, though, to kind of stop rambling about the Oilers, it is something that upset me. I wish they could have won, and as much as I would love to say congrats to Florida, I feel like it isn't deserved with the way they've been treating the win. I just hope that they realize that it's not right to treat people with such disrespect, especially when the Oilers themselves, interview after interview, has been nothing but respectful to that organization and to the players. Very upsetting. On other news, though, the contract by 21 Pilots, yes, the newest single that came out a while ago at this point, a couple weeks ago now, but hell yeah, it's still a banger. Like, I still listen to it, I think once every day just to listen to it, and it is so good. Be it either on Spotify, YouTube, even on TikTok sometimes, like the whole song will be there, someone reacting to it, or different clips of it anyways. But it's been a hell of a song. I'm very, very happy with it, and obviously, why wouldn't I be? It is everything I could have hoped for, and even Crystal, she actually talked to me and reminded me that I said something. She had a Snapchat memory anyways, and she reminded me of it. And in the Snapchat memory was a video of me saying, after the Paladin Straight music video came out, that there was music at the end of the music video and it sounded like Heavy Dirty Soul. It's either that the cycle is continuing, as we expected at the time, but I also said, or it's a new album. And the contract itself has drums from Heavy Dirty Soul, so like, hello. Apparently I knew it before even knowing it, and I didn't even remember it, so that's crazy to think. It is something that I thought about, but as the buildup was happening with Blurryface being incredibly cryptic and the band being incredibly cryptic, I just kind of didn't think about it. But yeah, 100%, I thought about it then, and honestly it stands true now that the contract was literally kind of teased with the drums from Heavy Dirty Soul being in the song, because I believe the Paladin Straight music video ends with the ambient noise that starts Heavy Dirty Soul. So it's only fitting. They kind of teased it, and it makes me wonder that at the end of certain songs, in music video format, I mean, for Clancy that they did, some of them had music that kind of trailed off at the end that aren't on the actual track, so it makes me wonder if Breach is going to have that as a consistent thing. Kind of like a consistent thematic thing to tie all the albums together that have already existed by using certain elements from certain songs and putting them in the new ones. Very intriguing, and I might be butchering in the explanation, but the same thing they're doing with the Heavy Dirty Soul drums in the contract, it makes me wonder if in the future songs that are going to be on Breach, if we are going to get the same treatment of, oh, it's the same piano melody in this song as it was in, say, I don't know, Bandito. You know what? Just things like that throughout the whole album would be really cool. I don't know how they would do it logistically, but we'll have to wait and see, because it is very intriguing. And now that the contract's out, Breach is, on the way, and we can order the shit from their website, the different vinyl variants that I talked about on the last episode. Please go check it out if you get a chance. And as of now, they actually announced their tour. So the tour dates were already out. There weren't many for Canada, only one for Toronto. But the tour pre-sale actually happened already, and wow, did it go fast. I tried to get pit tickets for both the Toronto date, Tinley Park, and I believe Wisconsin. Can't remember exactly what the other one was, but all the same. We did not get pit tickets, though we did get seats for Toronto on Saturday in the 400 section. Not exactly as close as I would hope to be for 21 Pilots, but hell, I will fucking take it. I just want to be there for it, to be honest. And being that Toronto sold out so fast, LA did too as well. They announced 2 new dates for both places. A new Toronto date on the Sunday after the Saturday, and of course, the day after the LA date, they're playing another show. So, I have another chance on getting pit tickets, and I could not be more excited. I really hope I'm going to try to get in that pre-sale queue. If I get lucky, I'm buying them and just going to figure it all out later. I know that's not exactly the best way of going about things, but it's 21 Pilots. It is the Breach Tour. It is the end of this story that I've been following for a long time, and if you've listened to my episodes prior, you'll already know. I'm very excited. I'm going to be hopeful, cross my fingers, and if it's meant to be, it is meant to be, and it will happen. If not, then I'm going Saturday at the very least, and gonna go enjoy the boys and just have a good time and experience probably a show that will be a highlight of my entire life. And I know that sounds very dramatic, very extreme, but there are certain shows that I've been to, like seeing Paramore at the When We Were Young festival, the very first time I seen Black Veil Brides, the first time, my first ever concert, seeing Andy Black, and hell, even seeing the Bandito tour all those years ago, and NF for the Hope tour when he finally had a stadium show where he hopped out of the ground. Like, so many different moments that are just so integral and important to me. And there are a lot that have been pretty emotional, be it, seeing Black Veil Brides playing Lost It All. That one I was an absolute mess for. Thank God Logan went with me because he recorded the show for me, at least that song rather, and actually did a really good job on it. Props to him, again, holy fuck. But just those kind of moments, I feel like the Breach Tour is one that, if I don't go, especially since I didn't go to the Clancy Tour, I just have to. I have to be at this one. Even if they do make a live album, as they should be doing, and this being like a part 2 of it, I'm not sure what they plan, but regardless, long story short, and rambles aside, I'm excited to go, and that's about it. I can't wait, because it's going to be one of the shows that if I miss out on it, I think I'd probably kick myself forever. So it is something that, with the amount of nostalgia I feel for them, the amount of inspiration they hold for me, and the fact that a new album is on its way, and the contract fucking slaps, aside from that, I just need to go, and I cannot wait to go with both Crystal and Noah. It's going to be a hell of a time. Toronto, here we come. Hope we can get some pit tickets. If not, that is fine. Holy hell, I'm excited regardless. And if you're going to that show, the Toronto show, hit me up at Lights Monarch. I would love to chat and just see what your opinion is, what you feel about 21 Pilots, and if you've seen them before. I would love to know. Hit me up at Lights Monarch on all socials. Now, with the tickets going on sale, resale is obviously a thing, as it always is, and once again, it is ridiculous. Absolutely ridiculous. The price for pit tickets, if you want to do resale, well over $1,000. Well over $1,000. And that's just saying pit. The rest of the tickets, they all vary, of course, and maybe if you get lucky, you get lucky, but holy hell. It's not nice. And honestly, I wish there was something we as fans could do about it because it is bullshit. For a fan that wants to go and for a ticket even being allowed to be sold for that much, like I swear there was an over $2,000 ticket, just one ticket, over $2,000 in the pit. That's not like I know I just said that this show is going to be very important and once of a lifetime kind of thing, whatever, but nothing. No, it's not worth that. Watch a live stream, man. Like, I know it's not the same, but save yourself from spending that much. It's not right. Speak with your wallet and, stand up for that just being absolute sickening. And I wish there was a change. I wish something could change, but it's Ticketmaster and people's greed. That mixed together, what can be changed? It is the problem with the world and humanity. It is so unfortunate to see, but I hope that everyone that wants to go see the boys can go see the boys at the ticket price rather than resale, because oh my god, if you're going for resale tickets, God bless, and I hope you can actually get something for a decent price. Please don't support those awful scalpers, just please don't. Aside from that though, How to Train Your Dragon. That is something that I don't think I've ever talked about on here before, but I feel like the majority of people I know grew up with it in one way or another, and it was definitely a movie that I grew up with. I didn't get to watch it all the time, like not akin to the Disney movies that I really grew up with, but this movie in particular, I have such fond memories of sitting in my friend's basement back when I was, God, probably maybe like 10, even maybe younger, I don't know. It was around then anyways, because I believe the movie came out like 2009. And I was around the age of like a preteen and probably around 10 all the same. I was at my friend Kristen's place in his basement with a couple friends from school. And I remember sitting down there with his wood fireplace going, the big TV that he had, the big box TV at the time he had his Wii hooked up to, which we also played Pokemon Battle Royale, or I think it was called Battle Royale. Battle Revolution, maybe it was. I got a Groudon suit anyways. It was a hell of a time. I was the only one out of all of them to beat that game because I used my DS Pokemon. I'm getting sidetracked, but wow, the memory is so fucking vivid. It is so good. But I remember sitting down there and watching that movie, How to Train Your Dragon, with them and just falling in love with it and having a hell of a time with them. It was probably like my favorite movie at the time. And honestly, if I would have had it on DVD at the time, I probably would have watched the hell out of it. But that wasn't the case. It was a series that I did grow up with all the same. I watched the second one in the past. The third one I just most recently watched with Reese. Thank you for that. And we just went and seen the live action remake of the first one, the one that I have such fond memories of, in theaters. And I have to say, just a quick, non-spoiler rant about it. Honestly, it was good for what it was. It was exactly what I expected, though. And that, in itself, what I expected originally was that the animation was going to be better. And that is exactly the case. Again, it's so hard to capture the magic and the amount of detail, the amount of energy, the just overall, again, magic that this animation can hold compared to a live action. It just doesn't hold a candle to it. And I wasn't even trying to be biased. While sitting in the theater, none of the things that made me cry in the original, as we rewatched them and I cried during it, the live action in the theater, I didn't. I didn't cry. It made me smile, but every time that these moments happened, it made me think of the animated version of the movie, the original, and have myself longing for, to be watching that version of it instead. And personally, I know people that don't like animation. That's why this exists. It's great that it exists for them, but if you give it a chance, the animation, I swear, it holds up a little bit better. It has more magic to it, if you will. I know I'm biased because I love animation way more than live action, but it just gives you more choice. It gives you more option, and I get why it exists. It doesn't need to. If it existed in a vacuum, I think it would be very, very good, but the fact that it exists in a universe where we already have the original being animated, I feel like it just, doesn't need to exist, but it exists for those, again, that don't like animation and maybe just love the story so much that they wanted to see it this way, to have, to coincide with the animated version, because you can very well love both. There's nothing wrong with that. It's just personally, it didn't connect with me as much as the animated movie did. And I hope that anyone that is watching it enjoyed it, because personally, I don't think there was any reason to not. It was the same story, almost beat for beat. And there were small, little, slight changes here and there, but ultimately, it wasn't that different to say that it really needed to exist. But again, it exists for the purpose of what it is. And personally, I think that's fine. It's not a movie that I'm going to go see again, and if I ever want to watch it again, I'm going to just stick to the animated one. But that's just me. Again, let me know your thoughts at Lights Monarch. Would love to hear about it, because it wasn't the worst. But while we were in the theaters, we got some news, some world news, and this is a little bit more serious, at least, let me say, a lot more serious than How to Train Your Dragon. We're living through a historic event, as World War III apparently broke out while we were watching the movie. And I know that's a bit of a joke. World War III isn't actually happening yet, but it very well could. And I don't want to spend too much time on this because, again, I'm not here to bring people down and remember that reality exists, but I feel I have to share something, because if it does go down that dark route, I don't really know what will happen. I don't know what to do, and I just wanted to kind of say, like, with the thing that happened, Donald Trump, president of the United States, he ended up bombing the facility in Iran, a couple facilities, nuclear facilities, and I mean, let me say this and say that, yes, nuclear war and building nuclear weapons, not good. Not good at all. Those do need to be getting rid of and whatever, but what a messy situation, and to just drop bombs, and like, I don't even know what opinion I should have. I just don't feel good about this. I don't feel good, and I'm Canadian. And I don't mean to, like, be panicked or anything, and I don't know if there's reason to be. I'm sure there is, and some people might say there's not, but all the same, I just want to say that y'all aren't alone, and if anything, use music to cope with what's going on, and I hope, as I'm sure we all do, that the right thing happens with all of this, that we get to the right outcome without anyone else getting hurt, or just anything. Like, war, I don't think war is right, and I'll probably end it on saying that, because war and aggression just is more ignorance and leads to more devastation, no matter what way you look at it, and sometimes there's no other outcome or option, and I just have to scream and say that there has to be some other way. Like, I don't know if it's because I have hope in humanity, which I know is constantly fleeting, but man, I'm tired of living through historic events, and I wish that everyone else is just doing okay and that the world isn't too panicked or scared, because I just hope that we're able to reach a peaceful agreement, and one where no more bombs are dropped, no more blood is shed. Please, to the Middle East, to the United States, to Canada, to everywhere, to the world, just get along, please. Please get along. And I will leave it at that. Again, I'm sorry if that brings anyone down. I truly don't mean to. I just want to be here to say you're not alone in feeling what you feel, and we'll get through it together, honestly. Be it the cheesiest shit ever, no matter what. They said it in fucking High School Musical. It might be cheesy, but we're all in this together, and we'll get through this. Now, to say on a little bit of transition here, Divergent. It isn't so much about what's going on right now, but I mean, with the kind of story of war and whatnot. Divergent is a movie series that I'm currently watching with Reese as well, and we watched the first two movies, Divergent and Insurgent. Both very good, not gonna lie. I do believe that the books are probably far better though, because the movies, they try their best to do a good job, and I can't say they don't. There's just moments throughout the movies and themselves that I'm kind of looking at like that was pretty rushed. It feels like there's too much shoved into too little of time, even though the movies are decent in length. So I don't know exactly what happened, studio interference, or maybe it just is how it is. It felt very just kind of lackluster in certain moments, but in others, very like spectacular. So it was a mixed bag, is what I'm trying to say. And I very much enjoyed it. I enjoy the story that they're telling. I just feel like in movie form, it could have been done a little bit better. And I guess that's kind of why the final movie never got its final part, because the third movie was supposed to have like a part two, if I'm not mistaken. So I mean, I'm gonna watch them, and if I like them enough, and it is enough intrigue to wonder how much better the book truly is, then I might go down that rabbit hole and give them a shot. Because truthfully, it's a good story, and I see elements from other stories like Harry Potter, even kind of Twilight. Not gonna lie, definitely Hunger Games. Obviously, like it seems to be pulling from a lot of these legendary books and stories. So it is something that is promising. So I will be looking forward to finishing up that series all the same. And to kind of end it off a little bit more here is Black Veil Brides. A little bit of a lighter note to say it, and a little bit of a breather, to be honest. Black Veil Brides turned 16. Knives and Pens turned 16 years old. And that is wild. I know I touched on it last episode because it was coming up. But now it has came and went, and what a legendary song. Andy himself released a statement which was very heartwarming and touching to hear. And honestly, if anyone wants to go read it themselves, I believe it is on the socials. I will also be posting it on my socials. I'd read it myself here, but I don't want to cry because it honestly made me cry. And I just feel like it's something that every fan, if you are a true fan of Black Veil and Knives and Pens and just the trajectory, the history that they have wrote, I feel like you would have gotten the email that said it. So I'm not gonna go out on a limb and read it all. I'll post it on my socials so people that want to see it can. But thank you, Andy, for all you've done, and Black Veil as a whole. Thank you so much for being you guys. And I've been listening to your music so much lately, just as I used to, and it's been a lovely 11 plus years of being the fan, the actual absolute fanatic I've been of you, of your music, of everything that you guys have created. Thank you. Thank you so much for just being everything that I could ever hope for and being that escape from everything that is going on. The song itself, Knives and Pens, I gotta say, just leaves me with very fond memories and is a song that helped me get out of that dark place. Once again, just as all their music has, it is another thing that I just can't go without, and it is one of their most important songs. As without it, Black Veil as we know it wouldn't exist, and that alone just requires and honestly brings celebration, because Black Veil Bride's happy 16 years old. Happy 16th birthday. Thank you for existing. Now, before I do leave, I want to rattle off some new releases that have came out, because there have been some new ones that honestly have caught me off guard. I'm not going to go too in depth here, but some new music that has come out. We got Vices 2 by Mothica, Dominate by 3 Days Grace, No Place Like Home by Bad Flower, which is, yes, the full album, Into Hell by I Prevail, a new single, Drain the Blood, Silverstein featuring Dayseeker, oh my god, and then The American Machine by Hot Milk, which is another EP from their upcoming album. Now, I should say 3 Days Grace, Dominate, that is also leading up to Alienation, and the Vices song, Vices 2 by Mothica. That one was just overall good. It was a sequel to her song Vices, and honestly, it made me feel very warm inside because of what she sings about at the end. Very good, very fulfilling. And other than that, a couple ones that have came out that I can just touch on that actually Paul, shout out to him, my buddy, he showed them to me, being Idols by Youngblood, Rathberry by Buried Alive, and I'm Not Supposed to Be Here by Token. All very good albums, and honestly, enough said. You should go listen to them along with these singles. It has been a hell of a time for music, and we've got so much more coming. Hell, even Dayseeker, they announced that their album is going to be announced in July. I don't know when, but we're getting a new single and an album announcement from Dayseeker themselves soon in July. Nuts. Absolutely nuts. And I'm seeing Fall Out Boy soon in July. And there's so much going on. This is a hell of a year. And I hope that everyone, even though with the state of the world, is just enjoying it, because if we're able to do everything we have planned this year, at least for myself personally, I can't speak for everyone, but I'm sure y'all have a hell of a year planned, and if you don't, then maybe think about it and change it a little bit. Live a little, come on. I would say that with all the love, of course, but it's going to be a hell of a time if things continue, smoothly, and that's just being hopeful and optimistic with the state of the world. And again, I don't mean to bring it up all the time, but it is what we're living in, it's what we're dealing with, and again, that's one of the beauties of music. It is a way to escape, and I really hope that we can push to being more peaceful. I just wanted to kind of touch on the new releases and say here that I've been feeling quite inspired, as it feels like a lot of artists have been. And hell, maybe attribute that to 21 Pilots being back, Black Veil being a little more active, or even the state of the world, as I said before, and the constant dread that I feel towards it all. I have been feeling quite inspired lately to pursue that dream that I mentioned and have talked about countless times with the ones closest, of making the music I want to make and the story I want to tell alongside it a reality. And I know it's still quite far off, and it is still a quite far off dream, but why wait any longer, you know? I need to move. I know I need to move and pay attention. I need to pay off debts. I need to experience life and travel, and all while focusing on my future and trying to chase my dreams. And I hope to have whoever listening right now alongside with me for along the way. And I just want to say thanks for listening if you are, because to have you alongside this journey already is just mind blowing and really means just so much to me, more than I think I could put into words right now, to be honest, because it's crazy. But while I'm trying to chase my dreams, I just hope that we can make the future just as we wish it to be. Not just myself, but for all of us. What we wish it to be against all the odds and historic events we may be experiencing and living through. Through music, we unite. Our passions, they ignite. Within our inner light, we will set things right. And honestly, I'm glad to have you along with me. Thank you so much for listening, and I hope everyone's doing okay with all that's going on. And most of all, thank you for discovering the music within.